Let us for a few moments close our eyes, concentrate on the Paramatman who is dwelling in our heart and pray to him with love and devotion for peace and prosperity of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the incarnation of this modern age, who came to establish peace and harmony amongst various religions, who showed us the path of knowledge through devotion, who showed how to integrate knowledge and devotion, followed by selfless action, to be concluded in meditation. Jnana, Bhakti, Karma, Dhyana, all these four are to be properly blended in our spiritual practices, which give us wonderful experience of joy. So, Sri Ramakrishna has come to show the way. It is necessary because the way to God is mysterious. It looks very easy, but very difficult. It is very near, but very far away. It is wonderful, mellowing light, but invisible. So we need a person of highest spiritual caliber to show us positively the way to reach that supreme abode of peace and bliss. Throughout the world, there are holy people. Even today, in spite of all crime, violence, hatred, jealousy, all sorts of things in the world, still there are few gems who manifest love, peace and joy amongst fellow men. Good people are always there. But the good ones are being tormented more and more nowadays. The wicked is showing its ugly head. The good are being trampled, as if there is a kind of confusion in thinking, in spite of high intellectual development, technological development. Still, man is miserable because one cannot find peace or joy in the world. It appears to be exciting. It appears to give joy only to show that it is not joy. So people are struggling literally how to get over this, how to overcome this problem of evil facing us today in spite of our best intentions. Everybody wants to have the vision of God. Everybody wants to love God. If only God gives them joy and peace, why not? The holy people always tell us to love God with heart and soul, to move forward in spiritual life. Still, we are not able to love God. Still, we are not able to move an inch forward in our spiritual life. For most of us, the spiritual life has not started at all. Why it is so? What is the reason for that? Why are we not able to love God? It is not difficult to find out the answer. We have not been able to love God because we have fallen in love with the world and the worldly things and the worldly associations and the worldly glamours and the worldly temptations, so on and so forth. That is, we are running towards things unreal. Mind is tied down. It is chained, as it were, to worldly attachments, worldly achievements and cravings. As soon as we get up from sleep, the mind runs out immediately with maximum speed and we run after the mind. The mind plays its game. Whole day is gone. Whole day we are running, getting nothing spiritually. A thief has entered into our heart and is causing all troubles. Who is that thief? That thief is in the form of cravings. Because of this bad association of cravings, bad association with cravings, mind has become extremely restless and peaceless. How can you expect that mind to turn to God? How can you expect that mind to love God? The thief is stealing away all the goodness in us. Not only stealing, it drowns us also in the bottomless ocean of worldliness. We are lost. Our human birth is lost. We have become more worldly, being born as a human being. Instead of gaining spiritual benefit, we are losing the life. Instead of creating the good samskaras, we are making more and more bad samskaras, making them more strong, involving ourselves more and more in those things. But you must know there is the ocean of divine grace. We understand how grace is very essential. Without grace, is it ever possible for us to walk in the right way? We must pray and cry unto God that He may awaken in us longing for Him and that our cravings for worldly things may be wiped out. If we keep on harboring our unsatiated desires, we cannot reach God. We cannot get peace. One of the close devotees, disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, used to say, it is like trying to row an anchored boat. So, we must become aware of this thief who is responsible for all our sufferings. Becoming aware of the thief is not enough. You must take positive steps to arrest and punish the thief. How to do that? Spiritual disciplines, such as repetition of the divine name, making a strong effort, using willpower. I must do japam. I must sit for meditation. Even if it is 5 minutes, doesn't matter. I must sit. Afterwards, let me run wherever I want to go. First, let me finish this. Some kind of discipline must be practiced in our life. Otherwise, we can't catch this thief. So, repetition of the divine name, worship of God, prayers, and all such spiritual activities are the ways and means to punish the thief of cravings. If a pitcher has a hole in the bottom, water poured into it will flow out. No water be kept in it. The holes in a spiritual aspirant are worldly cravings. So what's to be done? You must plug these holes, plug them. How to do it? Through Shravan, Manan, Nididhyas. Hearing about God, meditating on Him, chanting His divine name, and reading sacred books, worship, prayer, and so on. All these things are very important to eliminate the craving. At every step we will be tested. We must be careful, very careful. Wherever there is craving for worldly things, what does it indicate? It is a sign of a diseased mind. Oh Swamiji, I can't do such things. No, I have to go, I have to do that. If you talk like that, then you dance according to your own mind. Be happy with it. So what's to be done? You know that craving is there in everyone's heart, but give it a good turn. Let us crave for God. That makes us evolve spiritually. A craving for outer things or earthly powers brings material evolution. When we sit down to meditate, we should think of the cravings of the mind as mere dreams. We should see them as unreal. They can never attach themselves to the mind. So as I said earlier, we will have to have discipline. What is called in Sanskrit a particular term, tapas. Tapas. One can become the master of himself through tapas. What is that tapas? The real austerity is based on 3 principles. First, we should take refuge in the truth. Truth is the pillar to which we must always hold while performing any action. Second, we must conquer lust. Third, we should renounce all cravings. These are the 3 principles of austerity. This is real tapas, by doing which our heart becomes thoroughly purified. God manifests only in that purified heart. Those who lead an unregulated life and think impure thoughts lose their powers, lose their strength of mind. They are at the mercy of passing desires and the feverish cravings of the senses, and have become slaves. So Sri Ramakrishna has pointed out how to undertake spiritual sadhana. Sri Ramakrishna, who is he? Why did he come? He is that supreme divine power who once came as Sri Ramachandra, who again came as Lord Krishna, who came as Lord Christ. Now the same supreme power has come in the form of Sri Ramakrishna, just to show the path to spirituality. That is their mission. The divine being exists eternally, and from age to age, that supreme divine power embodies himself as man for the good of the world because of his pure compassion. He is self-sufficient, pure, intelligent, and free by nature. He doesn't have any purpose to serve in this world. Being complete in himself, he has nothing to attain or not to attain. When the world becomes burdened and there is prevalence of irreligion, adharma, the all-merciful Lord, by his own free will, incarnates himself as man to save the fallen and ameliorate the lot of the world. When God comes to this world as a man, then flows a current of spirituality. Many are blessed by getting the light of knowledge. Many attain liberation. It is only for the spiritual good of the world the incarnate manifests his power. All that the incarnations do is out of mercy, for an incarnation is not born as a result of karma. And how can he have any ignorance? It is the eternal Brahman in his fullness, the Lord of Maya, who descends with the help of Maya, and he returns to his own real state after the need of the age is fulfilled. All the spiritual practice that the incarnation undertakes, all the hard austerities he undergoes, are merely to set an example to others, to hold an ideal before men. For he is God, he is infinite itself. Where can he have any finitude? As long as incarnations remain in their human bodies in this world, all their behaviors appear to conform to human norms. They are happy at things that make others happy. They are unhappy at those that make men unhappy. They behave mostly like human beings. At the same time, they show spirituality to the people. They give spirituality to the people in the language that will be understood by the people. So God comes to the level of human beings just to lift them up, rise them up, free them from all problems, troubles, sufferings, and so on. So, Sri Ramakrishna has come as a light of the world to dispel the darkness of the world, to bring peace and harmony in the world, to integrate the whole humanity, so that all people can live sharing love towards one another, not hating anyone. Follow any path you want, but be friendly. Be friendly. Reach the goal. Don't waste your time in quarreling and hating and causing injury to the people. Don't waste your time in indulging in false type of spirituality. We want men of practical spiritual life. Here is the model given to us through Sri Ramakrishna, through Swami Vivekananda, through Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, through all the direct disciples whose photographs have been displayed in the back of this auditorium. They are all gems, each one of them, master of renunciation. They came just for the sake of the world, just for the sake of humanity. They dedicated their whole life to understand selflessness. You must read those lives of these people. How did they live? How did they practice? How did they love God? That is why their words have tremendous effect. Coming to chapel, attending the classes, trying to understand the spiritual ideas, to practice in our own humble way, we have to do it. That is how we can build up samskaras. Then only we can hope to develop love towards God. Without love of God, how can you have His vision? So, these 2 points I have tried to explain to you. Sri Ramakrishna has given his experiences also, how he had the vision of the formless aspect, and all such details are given. The first thing we should understand is to get rid of the cravings, practice austerity, arrest the thief and punish him, love God and realize Him. That's my conclusion. Now I shall read a few pages. Page 283. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the steps of the southeast veranda of the Kali temple. Rakhal, M and Hazra were with him. He talked light-heartedly about his boyhood days. When it was dusk, he returned to his room and sat down on the small couch. Soon he went into samadhi, and in that state began to talk to the Divine Mother. He said, "Mother, what is all this row about? Shall I go there? I shall go if you take me." The master was to go to a devotee's house. Was it for this that he was asking the Divine Mother's permission? Again he spoke to her, perhaps praying about an intimate disciple. "Mother, please make him stainless." "Well, Mother, why have you given him only a particle?" Remaining silent a moment, he said, "Oh, I see. That will be enough for your work." In the same state he said, addressing the devotees, "That which is Brahman is verily Shakti. I address that again as the Mother. I call it Brahman when it is inactive and Shakti when it creates, preserves and destroys. It is like water, sometimes still and sometimes covered with waves. The incarnation of God is a part of the Leela of Shakti. The purpose of the divine incarnation is to teach man ecstatic love for God. The incarnation is like the udder of the cow, the only place milk is to be got. God incarnates Himself as man. There is a great accumulation of divinity in an incarnation, like the accumulation of fish in a deep hollow in a lake. Some of the devotees wondered, is Sri Ramakrishna an incarnation of God like Krishna, Chaitanya and Christ? Sri Ramakrishna had finished his midday meal and was sitting on the small couch. Rakhal, M and Ratan were sitting on the floor. Ratan was the steward of Jadu Malik's garden house and was devoted to the master. Now and then Ram Chatterjee and Hazra passed in or out of the room. It was about 2 o'clock. Ratan told the master that a yatra performance by Nilakantha had been arranged in Jadu Malik's house in Calcutta. Ratan said to the master, "You must go, the date has been set." Master said, "That's good, I want to go. Nilakantha sings with great devotion." And devotee answered, "That is true, sir." Master said, "Tears flow from his eyes as he sings." Then to Ratan he said, "I am thinking of spending the night in Calcutta when I go to see the yatra." Ratan said, "That will be fine." Ram Chatterjee and the other devotees asked Ratan about a theft in Jadu Malik's house. Ratan said, "Yes, the golden sandals of the deity were stolen from the shrine room in Jadu Babu's house. It has created an uproar. They are going to try to discover the thief by means of a charmed plate. Everybody will sit in one room and the plate will move in the direction of the man who stole the sandals." Sri Ramakrishna said with a smile, "How does the plate move? By itself?" Ratan said, "No, a man presses it to the ground." A devotee answered, "It's a kind of sleight of hand. It's a clever trick." Sri Ramakrishna said, "The real cleverness is the cleverness by which one realizes God. That trick is the best of all tricks." As the conversation went on, several Bengali gentlemen entered the room and after saluting the master sat down. One of them was already known to Sri Ramakrishna. The gentleman followed the cult of Tantra. The master knew that one of them indulged in immoral acts in the name of religion. The Tantra rituals, under certain conditions, allow the mixing of men and women devotees. But Sri Ramakrishna regarded all women, even prostitutes, as manifestations of the Divine Mother. He addressed them all as Mother. Sri Ramakrishna said with a smile, "Where is Achalananda? My ideal is different from that of Achalananda and his disciples. As for myself, I look on all women as my mother." The visiting gentleman sat silent. Sri Ramakrishna said, "Every woman is a mother to me. Achalananda used to stay here now and then. He would drink a great deal of consecrated wine. Hearing about my attitude toward women, he stubbornly justified his own views. He insisted again and again, why should you not recognize the attitude of a hero toward women? Won't you admit the injunctions of Shiva? Shiva himself is the author of the Tantra, which prescribes various disciplines, including the heroic." I said to him, "But my dear sir, I don't know, I don't like these ideas. To me, every woman is a mother." Achalananda did not support his own children. He said to me, "God will support them." I said nothing. But this is the way I felt about it. Who will support your children? I hope your renunciation of wife and children is not a way of earning money. People will think you are a holy man because you have renounced everything. So they will give you money. In that way you will earn plenty of money. Spiritual practice with a view to winning a lawsuit and earning money, or to helping others win in court and acquire property, shows a very mean understanding. Money enables a man to get food and drink, build a house, worship the deity, serve devotees and holy men, and help the poor when he happens to meet them. These are the good uses of money. Money is not meant for luxuries or creature comforts or for buying a position in society. People practice various tantric disciplines to acquire supernatural powers. How mean such people are. Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, friend, by acquiring one of the 8 siddhis, you may add a little to your power, but you will not be able to realize me. One cannot get rid of Maya as long as one exercises supernatural powers. And Maya begets egotism. Body and wealth are impermanent. Why go to so much trouble for their sakes? Just think of the plight of the Hatha Yogis. Their attention is fixed on one ideal only, longevity. They do not aim at the realization of God at all. They practice such exercises as washing out the intestines, drinking milk through a tube and the like, with that one aim in view. There was once a goldsmith whose tongue suddenly turned up and stuck to his palate. He looked like a man in samadhi. He became completely inert and remained so a long time. People came to worship him. After several years, his tongue suddenly returned to its natural position and he became conscious of things as before. So he went back to his work as a goldsmith. Oh, laugh. These are physical things and have nothing to do with God. There was a man who knew 82 postures and talked big about yoga samadhi, but inwardly he was drawn to lust and gold. Once he found a banknote worth several thousand rupees. He could not resist the temptation and swallowed it, thinking he would get it out somehow later on. The note was got out of him all right, but he was sent to jail for 3 years. In my guilelessness, I used to think that the man had made great spiritual progress. Really, I say it upon my word. Mahendra Pal of Sindhi once gave Ramlal 5 rupees. Ramlal told me about it after he had gone. I asked him what the gift was for, and Ramlal said that it was meant for me. I thought it might enable me to pay off some of my debt for milk. That night I went to bed, and if you will believe me, I suddenly woke up with a pain. I felt as if a cat was scratching inside my chest. I at once went to Ramlal and asked him, for whom did Mahendra give this money? Was it for your aunt? No, said Ramlal. It is meant for you. I said to him, go and return the money at once, or I shall have no peace of mind. Ramlal returned the money early in the morning, and I felt relieved. We shall stop there. Any questions? Posing as a great spiritual person, but behaves worse than a worldly man. Hypocrite. Posed himself as a great spiritual man by his dress. Janaki was overwhelmed. Here is a monk who is asking bhiksha, so she was taken away. See, wearing the ochre cloth, if a man indulges in immoral acts, telling lies and using all sorts of things for getting many things of this world, that is false spirituality. Worldly person is confirmed. There is nothing like false spirituality with respect to him at all. The very fact that he is worldly shows that he is in this world. But he is struggling. It is not false spirituality. Even the people who have taken life of renunciation, wearing a ochre cloth, robe, etc., they are practicing, no doubt, but they are struggling. It's not so easy to once for all declare that I have conquered lust and gold. Here I am a saint. You can't declare like that. So, that's what Sri Ramakrishna wanted to say. People are losing faith in religion because of this false presentation of spirituality. To compromise. See, to suit all the people, you talk in their own way. Suppose a man comes, Swamiji is like this, like, can I do like, all right, you do like that, you are right. Another man comes, Swamiji, shall I do like this? All right, you are right, do. Though you know it is not right, you are telling them, all right, you do. But there is another way. In order to show them the way, little by little, first they ask, all right, you do like this, then you will come, you will understand, bit by bit. But how much time you have to spend if you have to learn things like that? How many lives you have to take to fight out all the evil samskaras? Let alone fighting the past ones. In the present life itself, we are creating so many samskaras which are not good for us. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna said, be careful, be very careful. The more we are careful, the better. What is the meaning of carefulness? To always think about God, always thinking about Him. That is the way to keep ourselves careful. Very careful means, be very careful means, be very shrewd in having association with people, and you know certain things should not be done, don't do it. Oh, it's a social gathering, I must go, Don't say I must go like that. Then you will be like that only. Then nobody will come to help you. First of all, there is nothing like false spirituality if a person in the modern age is not following spirituality. False spirituality comes only when a person takes to spiritual life and will not follow the disciplines accordingly because of his bad samskaras. He behaves in a different way, but at the same time doesn't want to give up that spiritual outlook. So if it is beneficial to him, so that he may get more name and fame and position and lot of wealth, etc., why not I have that kind of spirituality? So that is worldly spirituality, I should say. Real spirituality is different. Real spirituality is based on, as I said, on principles, holding on to truth. The first basic principle, you must be always truthful, and you must not desire anything unnecessarily, and try to focus your attention upon the Supreme God, who is the embodiment of purity and perfection, and try to get rid of the cravings from the mind and try to meditate on Him as far as possible with one-pointedness. So, this kind of austerity, tapas, a person who practices tapas is, it's a fight. You are fighting the evil, say, but you are conscious of it and you are aware of it, so you are trying to use all your resources to get rid of the evil samskaras from the mind. So, about the people taking sannyas, you said about Buddhists from childhood they become. But there are institutions where they take sannyas from the beginning. Not necessarily they have to pass through wedded life, they have to pass through grihasthashram and then vanaprasthashram, then finally they will go to sannyasashram. No. There may be some people who take that path. There are people who, after passing through householder life, finally they take to sannyas. Such people are there even today. But there are other people also who they don't marry anybody, straight they go to take up the sannyasa life and they practice meditation, concentration, etc. and engage themselves in selfless activity to keep the mind in a healthy condition. So that's why the monasteries come, to create the situation, to create the atmosphere so that you can develop your spiritual qualities and you can stabilize your spiritual life. The monastery is meant for. But then, if you are not careful, again you may be taken away by temptations, because you come across with so many people, and if you are not really serious about your spirituality, you may even lose it. That danger is there always. That's true. But one who is very sincere and practices it with all Shraddha, God helps them. God helps them. And even though we may not be very strong in the beginning, God gives us strength and we feel more and more strong. More and more strong. And day by day, we must keep on thinking about the divine more seriously, more intensely, that way. And try to engage the mind in a healthy way. Healthy spiritual activities are always important to maintain the spirituality. Either one must be able to sit for long hours in meditation. How many people can do that? But it is not impossible. There are people I have seen who can sit like that. But normally speaking, all people cannot sit. But how to maintain that spiritual level? Engage yourself in spiritual activity. Somebody was telling the other day, "Oh Swamiji, every Saturday I will come there and I will do vacuuming." I told, very good. That idea has come to you. It's wonderful. Whatever time you devote here, that will be you will be engaging in spiritual activity. To that extent, her mind was protected. So anything that you do selfless always helps you. It always gives you a joy. You feel a kind of fulfillment. I have done something. You feel as if you get calmed down by doing some things, maybe very trivial, but even going to chapel itself brings peace to many people. So like that. So Mahatmas, or the holy people, their life and teachings are inspiration for us. And whatever path we follow, whether that man does it, whether this man does it, let us not bother about that. Let me do it. If you take up spirituality in that way, in that spirit, then God is always with us. Of course, we get crises, no doubt. But crises come, as I said, every moment we will be tested. We will be tested. We have to pass the tests. Very good. The crises come to make us more strong. More and more strong. That's all. Crisis is no crisis before God. Let us pray to God and be sincere, be truthful and carry on the duties. That takes care of everything. That takes care of everything. But reading of sacred books is very important. We must be very careful about what we do morning to night. Morning through night, what we do, you must be very careful. How can you get that ekagrata? How do you get that? Unless the mind is purified, how can the mind becomes one-pointed? No. If you don't follow it up with devotion and love to God, then it's a waste. But if you have love of God and devotion, because all people cannot sit for long hours in meditation, as I told you earlier. All people cannot do ekagrata for a long time. But doing volunteer service, helping the poor patients in the hospital, it's a splendid work, no doubt. Even though a person might not have known the values of spirituality, but the very act of helping another person itself is a spiritual act, and it paves the way for purification. His mind calms down, he gets peace, and finally he finds out himself. The route to the whatever he wants, if he wants the vision of God, or if he wants to realize the truth, then he will have it. If he doesn't want, then he will wait for some time until he wants it. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar also, he engaged in many philanthropic activities, digging the wells and starting schools for children. And he became very famous throughout Calcutta, throughout Bengal, I should say. He became so popular. He became very popular because he was very good also. Intrinsically was a very good man. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Because he was so good, he was so philanthropic, Sri Ramakrishna himself went there to see him. So you can expect, if Sri Ramakrishna had to go and see him, then what is the level of his purity that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's? Probably, he might not have thought about God, that's a different matter. But the very act of doing things purified him to such an extent, made him stay in sattvic level. Sri Ramakrishna went there and gave a little turn. He said, you are doing all these things very good, but do it with the idea of God. Dedicate them to God. It's because of God you are able to do this. Have that feeling. Then you get fulfillment. And otherwise, one may become egoistic. I have done so many things, etc. So Sri Ramakrishna had a very good, the first chapter in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is very interesting. Please read that. Dialogue between Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and Sri Ramakrishna. Beautiful. Very interesting. So like that. Any question to ask? Alright, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder, O Thou, who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from the darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.